China's complaining that the president's description of Xi as a dictator is a provocation. Could you walk us through the president's thinking on this comment?
Well, the president, I think, walked you through that himself yesterday, Steve. We're not bashful about speaking plainly about some of the concerns and issues that we have with the PRC and with the challenges that they propose. And the president is very forthright in the way he addresses those challenges and the complicated nature of this relationship. But it is an important relationship, and you heard the president talk about that yesterday as well. It's one of the most consequential bilateral relationships in the world today and likely will be going forward. And that's why it was important to see Secretary Blinken make that trip to Beijing. That's why we're in discussions with the PRC about potential follow-on visits by cabinet officials. We'll see where that goes. But more critically, that's why we want to make sure we can keep the lines of communication open. And as the president said, he has every expectation that we'll be able to do that.
And you see India as a counterweight to China?
This state visit wasn't about China. And look, India has challenges with China as well. Right on their doorstep, but also more broadly in the region. And clearly, the challenges presented by the PRC to both our nations were on the agenda yesterday, no question about that. But this wasn't about leveraging India to be some sort of counterweight. India is a sovereign, independent state. They have their own foreign policy that they have to manage, and they live in a tough neighborhood. They are becoming an increasing exporter of security, which we welcome, and you could see a lot of that, our desire to improve the defense cooperation on hand yesterday in some of the deliverables, whether it's co-production of jet engines, whether it's their purchase of MQ-9 drones. There's a lot we can do in the security front together, and that's really what we're focused on.
Thank you. So, John, just to follow up, you're saying that the U.S. does not view India as having any role in its overall competition against China.
I didn't say that. I said that we're not viewing India as a counterweight to China, and we weren't approaching the state visit as some sort of messaging opportunity to China. It was about sending a message to the American people and the Indian people about how important this bilateral relationship is, quite frankly, to people around the world. India has challenges with China on their own, and they address those challenges largely on their own. Now, I will add that they are a member of the Indo-Pacific Quad and have been a terrific contributor through that multilateral forum. It's not a formal alliance. It's not, it's not a military organization. But they have legitimate concerns in the Indo-Pacific that they're addressing through their own vehicles as appropriate.
And just to follow up on Steve's question, the president was so confident in saying that his dictator remark had no impact and no real consequence on the work that the U.S. and China continue to do to try to find, a place of compromise and competition. China's reacting differently, so why is the president saying so confidently that his remark had no real consequence?
Because he believes it. And we're still in communication with the PRC about moving this relationship forward. That's what we're focused on. And every indication that we're getting is that that's what the PRC wants to focus on as well.